This is probably one of the last things I expected in relation to this year, but apparently we're supposed to be getting a new Karate Kid game this upcoming fall in September. I'm not exactly sure what the release date is, but it's supposed to be based off of like the older movies from the '80s, and everybody remember the Karate Kid trilogy from back in the '80s. I think the first movie came out back in 1984, if I'm not mistaken, and three came out back in 1989. Um, a lot of people have their own preference in terms of what movie was the best. Personally, I like the first movie, and the video game that we got like sometime in the mid '80s for the NES. That game was way harder than it had any business being, and I think this is like the first time we're gonna get like a major Karate Kid game since the '80s, because I like you don't hear too much about Karate Kid outside of like movies, and I think the last major installment of Karate Kid we got in terms of movies was back in 2010, which is a reboot, and I believe that reboot had Jackie Chan, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people like a lot of people know about that movie, and that's one of the reasons why it stands out as much as it does. And the thing is, this is something that I just found out recently, but apparently we're supposed to be getting a new Karate Kid film sometime in 2025. I believe it's like sometime in spring or in May, and it's supposed to be like done by like Columbia Pictures and I believe two other production companies, and that's also going to be having Jackie Chan starring in it, and I think Ralph Macchio, the guy who was in the original Karate Kid movies, he's supposed to be in this as well, and it's going to be produced by Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and someone else. So I'm guessing that the this upcoming Karate Kid movie is going to lean a little bit towards comedy and all that stuff. But I found that really interesting, and there's still like certain details about it that I really don't know, like the plot and what the budget is, and all that stuff. And and after the movie's been out for like a year or something like that, I have no idea what streaming platforms is going to be available on. But I believe the reason why like this upcoming Karate Kid game, Karate Kid Street Rumble, the reason why we're getting this is because we're getting a new movie next year, and I feel like the game is supposed to be something that's going to get people invested in seeing the movie. Now, you can go check out the trailer for this game online, or you can click on the link below. It's going to give you a link to the actual the actual trailer. If you're like on my YouTube page, you click on the link below. It's going to take you to the actual trailer for the game. Pretty much, you have 16-bit. Or not, yeah, I think it's like 16-bit like graphics or something like that, and I feel like the pixel art and all that stuff. It kind of reminds me of like some of the retro modernized games that we got recently, like Shredder's Revenge, which came out back in I believe it was 2022. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Scott Pilgrim versus the World in terms of how it looks and aesthetics and all that stuff. And it's pretty much a multiplayer arcade beat 'em up. And I feel like this is something that we should have gotten like back in the early '90s in relation to the Karate Kid series. But I feel like during the '90s, even though the franchise was still popular, it kind of like died down a little bit. And you had other like franchises like Ninja Turtles and Mortal Kombat and all that getting more popular in relation to video games in general. And this upcoming game, Karate Kid Street Rumble, it's supposed to be developed by Game Mill Entertainment, or I believe that's supposed to be like the publisher for this upcoming game, and pretty much like I feel like this is the Karate Kid game that we deserved like many, 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 many years ago and never got. And the NES Karate Kid game was just I don't know, like looking back at it now, it wasn't a bad game, but at the same time, it felt bare bones to some people. It could have been better than what it was, or we should have at least got a Super Nintendo installment of Karate Kid or what have you. But it's something that never happened. And apparently, this new Karate Kid game is supposed to be released on. multiple game systems, including PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. And I actually like read it's supposed to be like on like PS4 along with PS5 as well, and most likely it's going to be available for Xbox One along with the Xbox Series X. So there's going to be copies of this game that's going to be available for last generation game systems, which is a good thing for those who are into the Karate Kid series in general. But like, I feel like this is something that's going to appeal to a niche audience. I don't see it doing too big in relation to sales, but the beat 'em up genre of gaming is something that's starting to come back in terms of popularity, and a lot of people know Karate Kid and the franchise and all that. And I do feel like it's something that's probably going to appeal to people who are like in their 30s or 40s or what have you. And my guess is that the new movie that's supposed to be coming out in 2025, it's something that longtime fans of the franchise can check out. It's something that can draw in more fans with the I guess with the modern day like audience of people and watchers that we have today. So like I don't know, Karate Kid to me it seems like another like old franchise from back in the day that's being rebooted, and that's pretty cool because there's a lot of video game developers and production companies in relation to movies that are doing reboots and bringing back older franchises that were actually popular at one time because they have name value. Like Karate Kid still has like name value to it, and even though like the series has been seemingly dead for like a long time, or it's been like on a hiatus for a very long time, I still feel like it's one of those things that people would check out, especially considering the fact that Will Smith is going to be like one of the producers for the next movie, and the fact that Jackie Chan's going to be in the 2025 movie as well. But as far as the game itself is concerned, it looks pretty dope, and I do feel that it's something that's going to exceed a lot of people's expectations in relation to overall quality once it's released this upcoming fall in September.